Augusta National is supposed to be predictable. Same course, same pressure, same walk up the hill on Sunday. A tournament engineered to reward control, experience, and greatness. That's why its history reads like a roll call of gatekeepers. Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer. These are the men Augusta was built for. The Masters doesn't like surprises. It likes legends who know exactly where the ball will land and where it cannot miss. And yet, every once in a while, the script breaks. A guy nobody circled in red shows up on Sunday. Someone with bad form, bad odds, or absolutely terrible timing. Not flukes, not fairy tales, but moments where the golf universe glitched, where the world's greatest players didn't lose to brilliance, they lost to timing, pressure, and collapse. This is not a story about domination. It's a story about ambushes. 5 times when the Masters crowned a champion, it wasn't supposed to, and legends watched it happen. Hey, sorry for the plug, but if you're enjoying this kind of stuff and wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, we're closing in on 1,000 subs. By 1971, Charles Coody wasn't known for winning. He was known for blowing it. 2 years earlier at Augusta, he had done the unthinkable, led late on Sunday, and then collapsed over the final 3 holes. That moment followed him everywhere. He wasn't a star. He wasn't a threat. He wasn't even listed seriously. He was lumped into the field, golf's version of miscellaneous. This wasn't a weak era. This was prime Augusta. Standing across from Coody were Jack Nicklaus, Johnny Miller. Sunday didn't unfold dramatically, which is what made it shocking. As Miller surged and Nicklaus hovered, Coody didn't flinch. The same course that had broken him before didn't this time. Pure irons. No panic. No unraveling. History expected a collapse. Instead, he won the Masters, beat Nicklaus, beat Miller, and then nothing really followed. No dynasty, no takeover, no transformation into that guy. The green jacket became the peak, not the launch pad. Augusta gave him redemption, and then quietly moved on. Larry Mize wasn't a nobody, but he was dangerously close. 1 career win, years on tour, plenty of almosts. He was known locally in Augusta. Nationally, he barely registered. And worse than anonymity, he carried a reputation. The guy who couldn't close. Good enough to be around, not trusted to finish the job. By Sunday afternoon, the Masters had narrowed to 3 names, and 2 of them belonged to golf royalty. Greg Norman, power, presence, inevitability. Steve Ballesteros, creativity, charisma, global icon. And then there was Larry Mize. One man played for legacy. One played for history. One played because he was still standing. It didn't happen over 4 days. It happened in one swing. The playoff moved to the 11th hole. Norman was safely on the fringe. Mize wasn't even close, well off the green, staring at a chip no one holds. This wasn't aggressive. This wasn't brave. This was statistically ridiculous. And then the ball rolled and kept rolling and disappeared. It was the kind of shot that ends documentaries. The kind you don't recreate, you just point to. That shot was the career. No run of majors. No follow-up dominance. 4 career wins total. When people say Larry Mize, they don't mention consistency or longevity. They mention the chip. Four months before the Masters, Trevor Immelman wasn't grinding for form. He was recovering from surgery. For weeks, swinging a golf club wasn't unrealistic. It was impossible. When he did return, the results were brutal. Missed cuts. Rust everywhere. No momentum. By the time Augusta arrived, Immelman wasn't trending upward. He was just upright. He wasn't playing to win. He was playing because he still could. This was the height of the Tiger-proofed Augusta era. Fairways tightened. Greens firmed. Sightlines tailored for one man. And that man was Tiger Woods. In his prime. In control. Looming every Sunday like gravity. Immelman wasn't supposed to contend. He wasn't supposed to last. He definitely wasn't supposed to lead wire to wire while Tiger hunted from behind. Tiger did what Tiger always did. He charged. Birdies came. The pressure rose. The noise followed. And somehow, Immelman never reacted. No fist pumps. No visible tension. No dramatic swing. He played like someone who had already confronted something worse than a missed putt. When the moment came to blink, he didn't. That calm was the strangest part. The win didn't unlock a dynasty. It didn't start a run. Injuries returned. Momentum didn't. Trevor Immelman became remembered less as a champion and more as a sentence. The guy who beat Tiger that year. He didn't outplay Tiger forever, but did on the right day. By 2009, Ángel Cabrera sat well outside the elite conversation. His ranking had slid, his results were scattered. Cabrera was known more for chaos than consistency. A major champion, yes, but one who arrived carrying more questions than confidence. Cabrera entered the week as the lowest-ranked Masters winner in the modern era. The field was stacked with precision players, surgeons of Augusta's angles and slopes. And Cabrera? He didn't bring spreadsheets, he brought instincts. In a tournament built to reward restraint, he played like someone who never learned fear. This Masters didn't end with brilliance, it ended with survival. Others unraveled, missed putts, cautious swings, tightening hands. Cabrera didn't rise above the chaos, he just stayed in it. In the playoff, he drove the ball into trouble, pine straw. A scramble, not pretty, not dominant, just standing last when the noise stopped. For a moment, it looked like a resurgence, another major, another chapter. But the win aged strangely. Results faded. Off-course issues mounted. The green jacket began to feel less like a breakthrough and more like a glitch. A Masters champion who never really fit the record book's rhythm. Charl Schwartzel was talented. Everyone agreed on that. But talent wasn't the same as threat. He had 0 PGA Tour wins. Most of his success lived overseas, quietly filed away on leaderboards Americans barely checked. By Sunday morning, he wasn't the story. He wasn't even adjacent to it. He was just there. Another good player waiting for someone better to assert control. This Masters didn't need a challenger. It needed a survivor. The leaderboard was stacked, but the spotlight belonged to one man, Rory McIlroy, young, leading, supposedly inevitable. And then the collapse started. One leader fell, then another, then another. Augusta turned into a stress test, and everyone failed it in sequence, except Schwartzel. While chaos unfolded ahead of him, he just kept making birdies. No reaction, no rush. 4 straight birdies to close the Masters, something no one had ever done. In the loudest, messiest final hour Augusta had seen in years, he played the quietest golf of the day, the least chaotic win in the most chaotic moment. The victory didn't turn into dominance. It didn't launch a reign. Schwartzel remained respected, competitive, but history froze him in place. No matter what followed, the introduction never changed. 2011, Masters champion. Sometimes the winner is just the last man upright. The Masters is engineered to reward greatness, familiar ground, familiar pressure, familiar names. But pressure doesn't care about resumes. It doesn't recognize trophies. And it doesn't pause for legacy. Legends don't always lose because someone played better. Sometimes they lose because the moment tilts, because timing turns cruel, because chaos creeps in, because survival matters more than brilliance. That's the contradiction at the heart of Augusta National Golf Club. A tournament designed to be exclusive that still lets unpredictability slip through the gate. That's the uncomfortable truth of Augusta. Even the most exclusive club lets strangers in. Once.